Hello, facilitators from Warrens Grove, Roxborough. My name's Philip, and this is WikiWorship. This is the training that I was telling you about, and this is just going to be a little training. This could probably be just a few minutes long. And if you have any questions about it, you're more than welcome to email me or give me a call. And you all, I'm sure, know my phone number and email address, so just let me know if you have any questions or any further discussion. So this is the training for the upcoming facilitation of the lunches, the kind of working lunches, if you call them. It's going to be starting July 20th and going to be lasting, I think, until August 24th. I think that's the last working lunch that we'll be having. So let's start out. Remember, all of you facilitators have a very important job. You're going to be helping lead and guide conversations in some sense. You're going to be helping lead and guide people to a deeper relationship with Jesus Christ. So what I want you to do every Sunday morning is I want you to pray for the people that are going to be in your group. Now, you might not know those names. Maybe after a few weeks you'll start to have some normal, a regular schedule of people that will be coming through, so you can pray for them by name. But for the first week, on July 20th, when you come to the worship service, pray for your people in advance. And then, when you sit down at the table with them for lunch, make sure you tell them that you prayed for them. Make sure that you let them know that they meant enough to you that you took time out of your schedule and prayed for them personally. Let them know that. Then make sure everybody gets to know each other. What we're going to do is at each table we're going to put blank name tags and markers so that people can put their names on the name tags and then put them on their shirt. But also I want you to be intentional with making sure everybody knows each other's name. You could do that even with a fun game. It can be anything like just tell your name, go around the table, tell your name, tell where you're from, and tell where, if you could go on any vacation in the world, which vacation you would go. That's a fun way to kind of break the ice, you could say. But make sure that when you get all those names and that information about those people, I would encourage you to take notes about that so that you can be intentional about getting to know these people. Maybe have a sheet of paper, write their name, where they're from, and what vacation they would like to go on. And also, you should start. You should break the ice by starting yourself. Tell about that vacation that you'd love to go on. And if you need ideas for week after week, just let me know. I know of a book or a website or something like that brings up lots of different ideas. After the get to know you time, a good way to start out with the discussion is by saying these words. Would any of you like to further discuss some of the points that were brought up during the worship service? Let me say that again. Would any of you like to further discuss some of the points that were brought up during the worship service? This helps the group to be able to get the ball rolling. Remember this, as a facilitator, you should talk as little as possible. You are somewhat similar to the referee in the basketball game. Although you may at times be compelled to participate in the play, you should always just keep the ball in bounds. What I mean by that is that you should do everything possible with your short verbal directional thrusts to keep the game moving and obtain full coverage. So you don't want people to be mean or vindictive to each other. And if that happens, then you need to change the direction of the conversations. Sometimes, however, the score becomes too one-sided, like one person is ruling the discussion. So what you need to do in those situations is change the subjects, or maybe specifically ask someone what they think, other than the person that is ruling the conversation. And if you notice that one particular person seems to rule the conversation, and it might be a good time after the service or after your first initial time with that person, just to say, how about this? You have some great ideas. How about you and me maybe can get together some other time and have coffee over that, and we can discuss that further. But leave time for other people to be able to say what they want to say as well. After getting the ball rolling, allow people time to answer. What I mean by that is try to moderate the discussion by fully hearing a person's point. For instance, if someone brings up a point that the pastor has spoken on hypocrisy today, and he doesn't understand why there are so many hypocrites in churches, and then goes on and tells a story about hypocrisy in churches, allow the time for them to fully express what they want to say. After they have completed their point, and no one's asking any further questions, then say, well, what do you all think about hypocrisy in churches? Allow that discussion to continue. Every week, hopefully by Friday, I will give you a list of questions that pertain to the subject for the day. I would urge you to pray over those questions and to meditate on them. Some of them could be used in the discussion if people are starting to run a little dry in the conversation. If the conversation seems to run out of steam, then turn to one of the questions that you have prayerfully considered. Also, I would ask, hopefully by Friday, that we be able to I will try by Friday to give you the direction that I will be going during the worship service. So I'll be emailing you out the direction that I'll be going during the worship service, hopefully by the Friday before the Sunday. There will also be some times where things are going to get rather edgy in your conversations. And I want to encourage you not to run away from the edgy subjects, but you should encourage your group to be loving towards each other. If the subject gets rather heated, you should encourage your group to be loving. But if it gets heated and you think it is too hot and you need to abandon ship, don't do it. Instead, put off the discussion until next week, so that everyone will be able to think and pray and meditate about the subject further. And then, upon further reflection, bring it up the week after that. Sometimes we just say those things flippantly, off the cuff. But what we need to do is be patient and take those questions that people have and think about that throughout the week, and then make sure that you bring it back up the next week. That's why it's very important to take notes, so that you can be intentional with bringing those subjects back up. Also, you do not need to have all the answers. I want to encourage you that you do not have to have all the answers. We're trying to create a safe environment where people can ask the dangerous questions. That doesn't mean that we have to have all the answers, but let's give it a good try. A good try. Remember, we're not God, but let's just give it a good try to answer in a godly fashion. If you feel like the group cannot come to a conclusion about a particular subject, that's okay. Tell them that you're going to give it thought and study, and you all can bring it up the next time. It's okay. It is perfectly all right for you to interject your opinion at times, but try to keep that at a minimum. In the discussions, healing can come to people that have been abandoned by the church or feel hurt by the church. So let's be the kind of church that welcomes those that are hurt into loving Christian arms, so that they can experience the risen Lord who makes all things new. Again, I want to thank you for your time. You'll see at the end of this video a link to the blog, and you'll be able to check that weekly and see where the subjects are going to be going. Thank you so much. God bless y'all.